Welcome back to another video on the 143 restoration project. So we've had a few things going on since the last video. We've had the lads from Hydroquip have come back out and finished off this pipe work for us. So we've now got some new main delivery pipes there. I've gone up into the hydraulic tank as the old ones was completely rotten. This is all now done. All the pipe work down centre, all down the sides, up into the stiff legs and the rear rams. So that's all now done. We've also made quite a bit of an achievement with these lockers. So we had a bit of a late night last night. Me and Tom stayed on, was here till just before midnight I think, and we've now actually got all inside of these lockers stone chipped and painted. We did just throw some paint on the outside of the lockers. We just had some paint left in the gun, so we used it up, threw it on there just so we could see how this was going to turn out. And as you can see there, it should look pretty good that by the time we've sanded all this back down and put the coat on the outside of the lockers. This is obviously going to be done when the lockers are fitted back onto the chassis, because we don't want to damage these putting them back on, because we have got to lift these up with a stacker and that gantry up there. We've got to sling it at the back end and stuff, so we're guaranteed we're going to mark that if we paint them off the vehicle. We've also got it all stone chipped underneath here now. It's all now painted in stone chipped black. That's all nice and tidy under there. We went for a bed liner inside here, which is why it's not a completely smooth finish. It is textured, but this will give it durability. Because obviously you're throwing gear in and out of here all the time, you've got stuff hung up. This paint would just chip off, so bed liner is quite durable, so that's what we've gone for inside there. I'll just show you through these front sections. Again, all these are now bed linered, nice and tidy right through all of that. I've done the inside of the doors as well. Come out pretty well. So these are really taking shape now, not far off at all. Quick look in this one, I'll take you around the other side. These really have taken a hell of a lot of time to get these to this stage, so we're glad that this is now done. We've painted the front of these because obviously when these are on the vehicle, these go behind the cab, so we won't be able to get in to these sections to paint them. So we've painted them now. We are going to be painting the inside of these in red to match the chassis. That's how they was originally when we took them off, so we're going to put them back like that. So all down these back sides right the way through are all going to be red. So the next stage for these will be to mask this edge off and then paint those sections in red. Same again around this side, all stone chipped, all nice and clean and tidy. So by the time we've got some nice bright LED lights in here, that should light up and be nice and bright in there. In this one, lovely jubbly. All this old wiring loom's going to get ripped out. We're going to do a full rewire in this. And this bottom one, all in there as well. We've left these holes in there as drain holes, because as I've said before, you're guaranteed you are going to get some form of water in these lockers. You can do your best to try and keep it out, but you're always going to get some water in there, so it may as well have a place where it can get out, because it's always going to get in. So, but again guys, that's really nice and clean in there now. And then same again throughout all this lot, all the way through. Lovely jubbly. So as you can see, we threw some paint on the top of these doors. You can see those should come out really nice and flat on the final coats. And put a bit on these back ends just to see how these turned out as well. Still a tiny bit of fettling to do around these edges and some stuff just on these bottom corners, but These are the back edges that he shaped up that you've seen on one of the previous videos. These are now all looking nice and sharp and tidy. So yeah, really happy with them. They've come out really, really well. So I'll just nip back over to the truck and I'll show you what we're going to be on with on this episode. Right, so on this episode we're going to be starting to deal with all this block behind here, which is like a rat's nest of wiring. This all needs tidying up. We did cut majority of the cable ties off this lot. If you remember, we had an issue with this wiring loom where it all melted and almost set the truck on fire. So we've been going through all this and we've replaced a lot of this wiring, cut out a lot of damaged joints and rewired all that. We have had the truck running since, so we know it all works now. So this just wants all cable tying back up, bunching back up, making as tidy as possible. I mean, it was never the tidiest from the factory. It was always like a rat's nest, but we can only do what we can do and make it as tidy as we possibly can. Once we've got some sort of order within all this lot, we're then going to start to put our dashboard back in, the dash tops, and we've also painted these sections that go across here in white. So these can go back on. We're going to be cleaning all this up first, hoovering all this crap out of here, and we can lash some paint and some rust treatment across this front edge before we put this trim back in. We've also painted this centre console in a nice bright white, same colour as the cab and the lockers. I'll drop a couple of pictures here now so you can see what this has turned out like. So yeah, that will be getting put back in hopefully tomorrow. So yeah, today we're going to be dealing with trying to get this dashboard back in, and hopefully get the centre console back in later on in this episode, maybe even roll on to a next episode. This one we're not entirely sure yet. We'll see where we get up to. We've still got to finish off this false headboard we're putting in here. We have got the materials for this now, but again, we probably won't get time to do that on this episode. So let's crack on, guys. Let's see where we get up to. Right, guys, so I've kind of got the dash top back in. It's in place and it is fixed in loosely because I now need to deal with this magnitude of wiring, which is absolutely all over the place. So I'm just trying to reroute some of this now and get it all back in. So that is the dash top and this other section somewhat in. There is two sections of the dash panelling that I've actually forgotten about, and I didn't realise until I put that in and realised there's a great big gap there. There was actually these two sections that needed doing, so I've just covered these now. They've come out pretty well, to be fair. So I seem to be getting the hang of this now. Seem to be getting a little bit better each time I do a panel. You'll also probably have noticed then, as I shine the camera up here, we've now also got our front trims in, all nice and painted. So that should look real nice by the time it's all back in. And these sections, do these one at a time. Place that there a moment. Please don't fall. Don't fall. So these sections actually go in, one in there like so-ish, something like that. And this one then drops on to here. Something like that, I think. That needs to come over and slot that under there. So that will sit something like that. So I think by the time all this is screwed in and it's all fastened up nice, that should look pretty well, that. Still trying to find these A-post trims. These plastic ones was actually broken in this truck. I've not managed to source any of them yet. We did rust treat and hoover out all underneath here. I'll drop a little picture now of the rust treatment going in. We did put some paint under there as well, just before I drop these covers on, just so we know it's protected under there and it's not going to rot through anytime soon. Also, I did manage to source a new exhaust stack, well not new, but new to us, which is there, which is a hell of a lot nicer than the one that was on the truck. It's an Eminox stack. Is slightly bigger than the one that was on this truck. This truck actually started life as a straight 6 motor in it, so I think the exhaust that they've left on this truck was actually for the 6-cylinder, and obviously now it's fitted with a V8. So as you can see, that one is quite narrow. There's not a lot of exhaust there at all, so that's probably suffocating the engine. So hopefully that bigger stack and the bigger spouts, inlet and outlet, should allow this engine to breathe a little bit better. Also, we've now got the centre console painted. That goes in the middle of the truck. Again, that should look absolutely spot on when it's in there. We are going to put some matting inside here with some of the material that we've used throughout the interior, just to sort of break the white up a little bit. We're not going overboard with the white, don't worry. We are just trying to break the interior up a little bit. We don't want it all grey and black, so we are putting a bit of white in there just to brighten that interior up a little bit. So, right, I'm going to get cracking. I'm going to get these bits of dash screwed back down, and I'll see if I can start making some sort of sense of that wiring loom inside the cab. Right, so we've got the dash top finally installed. That's all those top sections now covered and trimmed. I think that's turned out pretty well, to be fair. Just take for a little walk over there. Yeah, happy with that. So, next we're going to turn our attention to this absolute mess. What is the wiring loom? So this, I've been dreading this bit. So I need to get all this secured and all this lot behind it pushed back up into the dash where it needs to go. Secure the fuse panel back on there, and then start to work my way across through this loom and securing it and tidying it up as I go. So that's what's next, guys. Let's jump on that, see where we get to. Right guys, so we've had a bit of a clean up in here, as you'll see. Sorted all this out, give it a right good clean, scrub in a bit of a shine up. We've got this wiring loom somewhere near now. We've got all that secured. All the wiring loom up here is cable tied back in and up along there, up across the dash. We've got these vents back in, and also you'll probably have noticed we've now got the centre console in as well. So that's brightened up the interior a hell of a lot. And what we're going to be doing is, as I've said before, all the bottom trim that goes all the way underneath here, all the kick panels, and all the way around the front of this, and all the way across to the other side, is all going to be white. And also there's a set of lockers that go up here, which are going to be painting white as well, just to keep this interior nice and bright, and just a bit something different really. So that is now all in. Wiring loom is somewhat in place. Can now start to paint up all the surrounds for the switch panels, and I've just found a set of replacement clocks because ours are damaged, so they should be here next week. So yeah, that is all now in, all looking nice and tidy. Just take for a quick look around the other side. Apologies, it is a little bit dark in here guys, I haven't got a torch with me, but you get the gist of it. So same again around here, this has all been cleaned up, made nice and tidy. Got the steering wheel back in, bolted up. That, if you remember last time, was all loose, and then we're starting to sort of reroute all this wiring now. And again, we need to tidy all this up, same as we did with the other side, get it all nice and neat. So there we have it. Looks much better. So we're going to leave this one here, guys, and we'll see you on the next one. Don't forget to subscribe to keep up to date with this build. Give us a thumbs up, give us a share. See you later.